All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? Yeah. Sorry about yesterday. It ended up being just too much. But here I am today, and everybody got to talk about Trump announcing yesterday. Well, people are talking about it today, sure, because it happened yesterday. I think it happened yesterday. I can't. Man, my grasp on like time, linear time, is a little bit weird these days. It's hard for me to remember what happened when and where. Um, I don't know. But welcome to y'all. We'll talk about that a little bit eventually. But let's get ready to rumble. Let's get ready to rumble. Well, let's look at this. I mean, we'll stay political for a second, and we'll get into some climate change. Climate change is political. I think so. Well, I think everything in life is political on some levels. Even personal relationships are political. That's another talk for another day, I think. Yes. But this is this Lloyd Austin saying this is Lloyd Austin saying Russia ultimately is responsible for Poland missile blasts, whatever the final conclusion may be. Do we even talk about this?
But we have seen nothing that contradicts President Duda's preliminary assessment that this explosion was most likely the result of a Ukrainian air defense missile that unfortunately landed in Poland. And whatever the final conclusions may be, the world knows that Russia bears ultimate responsibility for this incident. Russia launched another barrage of missiles against Ukraine, specifically intended to target Ukraine's civilian infrastructure. This tragic and troubling incident is yet another reminder of the recklessness of Russia's war of choice. We're still.
Oh, there's a lot to say about that, and I probably can't say all the things I want to say on YouTube, but it's an interesting take because right when the thing first happened, they were saying Russia did it, and then pretty much everybody, including Biden, said no, it doesn't look like they did it, and then it was revealed that it was a Ukrainian air defense missile. And we'll talk a little more about it, but this is what I want to say about this. It doesn't matter what the truth is about the story. It's Russia's fault, right? It's Russia's fault that this missile landed in Poland and killed some people. It's Russia's fault. It wasn't their missile, but it's their fault. That's all you need to know going forward, okay? And that's all I'm trying to tell you, especially on YouTube, is that it's Russia's fault. It's all Russia's fault. Russia is to blame. And everything evil is Russian, and Russian is everything evil, and that's all you need to know in order to navigate the world. That's all you need to know. Okay, okay. We are live on Rockfin. We are live on Rockfin. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Callin. We'll talk a little more about that later in the show. Later. This is a interesting story. I'm going to kind of run through a bunch of things as quickly as possible. So my apologies if you're not getting a super deep dive on everything I'm talking about, but I think all of these things are good things to understand. What is going on? Why do I not have this link? Come on, man. Huh. I think I have to just actually highlight and then put this link in. That is very annoying. Carbon dioxide emissions rise globally. Yes, still rising. But drop in China. That's interesting. Huh. Emissions dropped in China. I wonder why. The world's burning of coal, oil, and natural gas this year is putting 1% more heat trapping carbon dioxide in the air than last year. Bad news for the fight against climate change, but with an odd twist, according to scientists who track emissions. Hold on one second. Hold on. We'll check this one out. Anyways, China's carbon pollution was down 0.9% this year compared to 2021, while emissions in the United States were 1.5% higher. Whoa. Said a study by scientists at Global Carbon Project released early Friday at international climate talks in Egypt. Both are opposite long-term trends. American emissions had been steadily dropping while Chinese emissions had been rising until this year. In both cases, it is a reaction to the pandemic and perhaps a bit of energy crisis created by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Study lead author Pierre Friedlingstein of the University of Exeter told the Associated Press. He said that those two factors make this year's data chaotic and hard to draw trends from. So China's lockdown in 2022. So there you go. They're still on COVID lockdown in China, and we've actually been covering this. They've locked down major cities, not all at the same time, but major cities and major, in various provinces all around China. So probably a good reason why emissions are dropping there. So not due to, anything else but their own super authoritarian response to COVID. Right? Right. So the last time emissions dropped was in 2020 when the entire planet was on lockdown and everybody else, as 2021 came to pass, all the lockdown kind of stuff stopped happening, except for in China when they're like, we think lockdowns are great and we'd like to continue them forever. So that's interesting, right? So when and it, maybe China is locking people down. Maybe they're using COVID as a pretext, but climate change is the real reason. Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're just testing this all out. But, rest assured, China's emissions will go up, next year, whenever they decide to stop doing this stuff with the locking down of major cities and whatnot, emissions will rebound back again up to into positive territory. All right. I don't know. I thought that was interesting, didn't you? Let's talk about degrowth. Somebody on Twitter is trying to talk about degrowth. I was like, hey, wait, somebody's talking about degrowth on Twitter. What the? Sir, you can't talk about degrowth. That is communism or socialism or Malthusianism or fill in the blank. You can't talk about degrowth. These people are crazy. What if growth is at its best doing little to fix the world's problem and at worst fostering the destruction of the planet and jeopardizing its future? They're asking this like it's a real question. That's what's hilarious. I wonder, could it be growth is bad? Not that growth is always bad, but, unchecked, right? Malignant, cancerous growth. That's bad. But they're asking it like, what? We sat down around a table and thought, we had ourselves a thunk. What if growth is bad? These people are brainiacs. Can so-called degrowth ever be possible? Somebody else asks. As climate change accelerates and supply chains supply chain disruptions offer rich world consumers an unaccustomed taste of scarcity, the theory is becoming less taboo, and some have started to ponder what a degrowth world might look like. Okay. The degrowth movement argues that the only way toward an ecologically sustainable world is to redirect economies away from market imperatives. Hear, hear. Could a slower growing or stagnant economy be the key to combating climate change? Well, neither of those will be the key to climate change. Actually, a falling economy will be the key to combating climate change. I know. It sounds like y'all are going to be poor and like it, but that's, I'm sorry that something so logical is conflated with the WEF statements about how they'd like the world to look like, because they're not very nice people and their plans are not really going to be implemented to try to help the world or the planet or you or me. But that idea is right on. It's actually spot on. It's actually absolutely spot on. Do we need to shrink the economy to stop climate change? Well, yes, we do. Degrowth would require societies to abandon the idea that the percentage change in gross domestic product is an accurate indicator of progress and instead learn to live better while producing less. Hey. Anyways, this is a good thread. I'm just kind of skimming through this. This is dumb. The idea degrowth advocates say is for wealthier countries to make space in the carbon budget for development elsewhere. Okay, stop it. In recognition of the fact that development for now remains a carbon-intensive process. Okay, that's ridiculous. That's just some magical accounting and, stop it. Others think economic growth, no matter how green, imperils the planet. Yeah. They believe governments should either purposefully shrink their economies, an idea often known as degrowth, quote unquote, or at the very least, not grow any further. Can we learn to live with yes? Well, yeah, we can. But first, we have to kind of get a little uncomfortable. And if we don't do that, guess what? We're going to get uncomfortable anyways. So you could either be consciously choose degrowth, or you could unconsciously run into a brick wall, and that'll be enjoyable for everyone, right? Everyone's going to love that. I can tell you, I'm no fan of collapse. I don't want it. I don't want any parts of collapse. I don't want any parts of collapse. I don't want collapse. I don't want it. But people are so god dang stubborn and stupid that's where we are going to go. That's exactly where we're going to go. And it's upsetting because, there's a lot of people standing around going, hey, maybe don't do that. Okay. Guys, look where we're going. We're going off a cliff. Guys, hello. Shut up. You're a Malthus. Shut up. What are you? You love Klaus Schwab. Shut up. Whatever. That's what the people that are trying to, people are trying to sound the alarm, are just getting met with, the incredibly, the best answers, the best, the very best and the brightest. That's what they're getting met with. Anyways, thought I'd just wander through that for a little bit. Peter Dine says a family of 4 in North America uses more energy than an extended family of 200 people in large regions of Africa. It is the material and energy consumption of the top 10%. That's you and me. If you're watching this show, you're in the. So when they're trying to make it your fault. Yeah, it is your fault. If you're watching this show, if you live in North America, if you live in Europe, you're in the top 10%. So it is your fault. So sorry to tell you that. That's just math and physics. You can spend all day going, no. Yes. It is the material and energy consumption of the top 10% devouring the natural world and altering the chemical composition of the atmosphere. Look, I know that people in Europe and North America are trying to live um, greatly less consumptive lives. There are people out there trying, and I applaud you. And most people watching this channel are doing some form of that, and I applaud you. Keep going. There are people out there trying not to live the typical, American consumerist lifestyle. But man, when I think about how many people actually are trying to do that compared to, it sucks because just pretty much everybody I know, and I love everybody that I know, but most everybody I know completely, not even clued in on any level. I love them all. I love everyone I know to death or to life or however you want to put it. Love them to life, but ain't nobody clued in to, their reckless, unconscious consumption and what it's doing to the planet. They have no cares. They give no fucks. And these are people that are like, most of the people I know are of elevated consciousness, right? Most of the people I know are like a little further up on the ladder of awareness, right? I don't hang out with like real knuckle dragon type people. I try not to. Most of the people I know are pretty aware. But even those people give no fucks. Most of those people give no fucks. Some do. Not everyone, but some do. Anyways, this just goes on to say, like, he's outlining the problem. And the issue is, here's the answer. I'll just give you the answer. Stop exporting our wealth and our standard of living to the rest of the world, and import standard of living and the wealth, as in the opposite of wealth, which is poverty. Import that into and people will go, what are you? I don't even understand what you're trying to say because I can't even understand anything. But it literally is embracing poverty. It is literally embracing poverty on some level, or at least living as a pauper, or living, a poorer lifestyle. I don't know about pauper. Maybe that's too far. You've gone too far. But you know what I mean? Living with a lot less means embracing, a kind of non-consumerist, anti-consumerist lifestyle that most people would go like, what? You don't have a dishwasher? What? You don't have a boopity bop? What? You don't have all the things and the stupid things? What? Right? It leaves people scratching their head. What? You don't? No, I don't do all that stuff. Was that Brando? I don't know. I don't know if it was Brando. I don't know who I'm impersonating or mocking today. I'm not really sure. I understand a lot of my impersonations probably come off as mocking, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just having fun. I'm just having a good time with this. Okay. Interglacial Optimist says cancel your trash service. It's a great way to start. Or just, try not to use your trash service if you can, right? If you can compost all the green waste yourself, and you can. I do plenty of that. Sometimes there's some things I cannot. I have an overflow of green waste, so. But I literally, my trash can, the can in which I put trash out, literally goes out like once every couple of months. Like that's how little trash waste I generate. And then recycling waste is a little more, and that probably goes out like once a month. So I think I'm doing pretty good. So I just try not to. I just don't put the cans out. If I don't put the cans out, they don't have to stop. You like my accents and impersonations? Good. I'm glad. I feel like maybe Maybe some people don't. I don't know. Let's keep going. And Caitlin Johnson also outlines the same kind of mentality. Nobody likes feeling like they're part of the problem. The reality is that the U.S. is the most tyrannical, murderous, belligerent government on earth, and causes people discomfort. It causes people discomfort. That reality, for the same reason they don't like thinking about factory farming on their own socioeconomic privilege. Yep. Which means translates into you're part of the problem, buddy. Right? Even if you're like, I don't support war, and this goes for me. I am part of the problem. Even if you don't, I don't support these wars, and I don't support this stuff. I don't support this political system. I don't support, blah blah blah. This, I am part. We are all part of the problem. I am part of the problem because I'm not doing enough to actually stop the damage that we're causing. And it is partly my responsibility. I take responsibility for the mess that we live in, and to abdicate that responsibility is, well, I don't know. You figure that one out. Say no more. Say no more. And the world is making little progress on food waste. Probably because we live in a mostly capitalist society, where you can't give away the food, the wasted food, or people would realize, well, we probably have enough food to feed the hungry. We probably don't need to be charging these astronomically stupid prices for food. If we don't throw away the extra spoiled, rotten food, or the kind of day old food, or that doesn't look aesthetically perfect food, well, then how can we keep charging these? How can this whole capitalist food system keep going? People might realize it's built on a pack of lies, right? And that's why food waste is a problem. And until we get rid of this for-profit food industry that actually spans most of the globe, then we won't solve this problem. Will we? If we don't give the excess food to the people that are hungry, well, then we won't solve this problem. Lies. It's a bunch of lies, I tell you. What are we going to do about food waste? I don't know. Let's compost it. That'll be good. Okay, but you're still throwing it all out. And I hope all that food didn't come packaged in a bunch of plastic. Oh, it did? Great. We'll throw that out too, because we can't recycle it. That's going to be awesome. Peter Dines says, hard to believe that the major rivers of the world virtually disappeared this summer, and still there are people denying there's even a problem. What will it take to wake up the masses? Yep. Major rivers of the world. That's absolutely right. Oh, sorry, I can't seem to remember to show you guys any of this. Max Sarjay says, I don't have trash service. Once a year, I fill up my truck and take it to the dump. Good on you, Max. I appreciate you. That's, there you go. There's one way. There's a really great way to do it. Yeah, we had some serious issues with low water levels. What's going to happen next year? I wonder. Or the year after that? I wonder. Or the year after that? I wonder. These are very unpleasant thoughts for me to think. But think about them we must. Elliot Jacobson The Arctic is 100% going to melt. They're saying by 2050, but obviously people understand that's probably given us a lot of time. The total loss of summer Arctic sea ice is no longer in the realm of probabilities. It is 100%. It's not a question of sequestration, geoengineering, or net zero. We are losing the ice. It is done. In the Arctic, the damage is now irreversible. Summer sea ice will melt completely for the first time in at least 8,000 years. The melting will be cyclical and will happen at least once before 2050. Reducing CO2 emissions will serve to prevent further irreversible damage to the cryosphere, but it will not stop the melting of the Arctic. It will not. Not right now. Not unless something really dramatic happens. Oh, last thing I want to show you all, and then we're going to jump over to Rockfin after I show you this. Raging waters. Authorities in Australia issued a major flood alert after a dam began to spill huge amounts of water following a period of heavy rains. Flood, drought, fire, flood, drought, fire, flood, drought, fire, flood, drought, fire, flood, drought, fire. Are you paying attention? That is quite scary. That's pretty massive. All right. Quickly, I'm going to check up on the coffees. Oh, Poppy Davis, I have enabled the membership. I didn't get any coffees yet today, but if anybody wants to give reoccurring contributions via buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews, there's a membership tab, and you can. I put it like $10 a month. If you want to subscribe, give me like a reoccurring donation, or there's a yearly, like a discounted yearly thing there. So you can check that out. I'm going to check on the Rockfin tips. I have not received any as of yet. But Rockfin is also a really great way to support the channel. Right now, I actually have taken out all of the links, the donation links that are not affiliates, just straight affiliated with Rockfin. So, with Black Bear News, excuse me. That's the way I really prefer everybody contribute to the channel. So buy me a coffee, Black Bear News, Rockfin, Black Bear News, and Patreon/Black Bear News. Those are all really good ways to support the channel. And if I get any other Black Bear News associated links, I will surely let you know. Okay, YouTubers. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow at noon o'clock. Peace out. See y'all on Rockfin.